All right. Well, welcome to today's community conversation, the Revit hints and hacks, stairs and railings, with Danya Tabor Hansen. I'm your host, Sean Hurley, Autodesk Community Engagement Manager. Let's go to the next slide, please. Give you a quick overview of what community conversations are. They're virtual meetups. You know, they're a conversation. This isn't just a webinar one direction. Expert speakers across the community. They range from deep dives, products, tips and tricks, live demonstrations. Here we're dealing with Revit with an expert. All experiences, we try and mix it all up, beginner to advanced. This is the fun one the lawyers make us say, and this was just basically if we make any forward looking statements or about future functionality or anything like that about any product that you make your decisions to purchase based on the state that the products are in today that are shipping. So no automatic AI generated monsters in the background of Revit as a feature. Can't promise it. Be cool, be kind of weird. All right, next, please. Just some little ground rules here. Everybody's lines muted to reduce the background noise. Although we do invite you to turn on your camera if you feel comfortable with that. It kind of gives us that in-person feeling. Not the same as it was, you know, when we were in person in AU, if you were there. I know David was. This conversation should be just that, you know. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand and we'll unmute you to ask your question. Session is being recorded. It'll be posted to the event page where you signed up, as well as we'll put the recording on YouTube, usually in about 24 hours. So let's get going. Again, I'm Sean Hurley, Autodesk Community Engagement Manager. I am a geeky technologist, unofficial historian, a recovering AU 2022 attendee, and I'm located in Bend, Oregon. We're waiting for snow. It's going to be 80 today, and apparently Mother Nature realized that, hey, Saturday, you're getting your winter. So here we go.
Oh, wow. I'm Danya Tabor Hansen, Senior CAD and BIM Analyst at Nelson Worldwide. I also call what I do Revit CSI, Revit Forensics, and sometimes some family counseling. I am in Knoxville, Tennessee, huge Tennessee Vol fans, and today we're going to be doing stairs and railings. It's been a requested topic, so I hope you enjoy it. Today's session agenda is going to include how to, we're going to start with some stairs. I'm going to show you how to get some stairs to start with, is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the stair parameters, how to build stairs, multi-level, simple enough. If that one's going to be a quick click through that. We're going to look at some stair visibility. And then we're going to go over to the rails and how to do it. Rail starts, some ways to get started with those. Rail parameters, how to build a rail, and rail visibility. So let's dive right into stairs. If you don't have this file, you need to go find it. That's the first link that I think I sent you, Sean. If you could post that in the chat, I can be posting it in the conversations after we go. There's some ways to comment. This is a conversation can go ongoing past today. So on the page where you signed up for the community conversations, I'll also be posting some information in there, which includes where to go find this file. Because if you don't have this file, if you're starting from scratch, you're wearing me out. So go ahead and get this file and get started with. So we're going to jump over and look at that file. And here I have it. I've brought it up into Revit 2022. And it's going to come with a large sampling of files. We have, let's just go to the plan view where we can read this easier. And we've got, these are residential spirals, and this says component. So these stairs were drawn with the stair facility where you just go grab stair and you just draw, draw a run, and it's going to place some stairs in it. That's a component stair. These stairs over here were done with sketches. Let me get out of the stair that I was in because it's leaving me So these were done with sketches, and we're going to talk about the difference between the components and the sketching stairs. So that's why we have two different versions. And you see some of these are shown, these were done for spirals. They're showing them with straight and they're showing them with spiral. Some are shown with the U shape. Some of these others up here are monolithics and stuff were shown also with a spiral stair going along there. So some of these are built basically for straight runs and stuff. And when you look at some of these stairs, you're going to find something like, I'm doing something really close to this for a residential or this for a residential. Copy, paste this into your project. Why start from scratch? This is my hints and hacks, and hints and hacks is go get it from somewhere else if you can. This is a cast in place stair. We've got stairs with brick. We've got your metal pan here. Just a variety of examples here. Here we've got with the stringer on the this says, what does it say? Left is open, and this one says right is open. This one says it's just open, open in there. So now you've got these different examples. Why are you wasting time doing anything else? Let's look at the different types we have here. Stairs are system families. So this is an assembly stair. This one is a cast in place. This one is a cast in place stair also. This is an assembly stair. There's one more type of stairs, and this one I can show it best. And that is if you want to have a precast stair, which really you're going to stick with the concrete stair for something like that. So I can change this to precast stair, and look, nothing seems to change about it. It's just a matter of, it's called precast stair now. But under the precast stair, there is only the one type. Under cast in place, I have two. I have the brick and the concrete stair. So you do have different types in here of the different system families that you can have of this assembled stair, cast in place, or precast stair. And they all have the different functions. The symbol means you're going to have the different pieces and parts and stuff. So let's start looking at stair parameters. Let's look at the instant parameters. These are the basic parameters that's going to be with about any stair. So if I go grab this one, and this one, and look at the instance, they're all going to have a base level. These are all level 1 to level 2. Base offset 0, top offset 0, desired stair height at 10 feet, which is what the level 2 is set to. Your varies is going to come in here, and these are all starting with tread 1. So these are your basic typical instant parameters. What gets different is when you start looking at the type parameters in the system families. So let's jump into, I'm going to pick this one because it's got a lot of different things in there. Also notice when I pick this one, it doesn't seem to stay highlighted. It's kind of like a highlight around it. If I go get its companion version over here, if I pick this stair, it stays highlighted. There is a difference between what happens with a stair that was drawn by components and one that was drawn with sketching. I'm going to stick with this one, and then we're going to compare it to the one that was drawn with components. All right, calculation rules are only used when you are building a family. These are the type parameters. We're just going to look, there's type parameters, there's calculation rules, there's constructions, there's supports, there's graphics. If I go look at this one, I get the same thing, construction, graphics. Oh, where's supports? Difference in the different way they're built. You're going to get different things. Here we got our treads, our risers, and stringers. Well, that's on this one. What about this one? Supports, graphics. I don't have my risers and stringers in here. Oh yeah, I've got them here. They're built in differently. So it depends on which way you build it is what you're going to get. So that's just, we're going to look into a little bit more detail. You know me, I go into the weeds. But we're going to start with looking at the calculations. These are only done in creation only. You can't go back and take a family and redo its calculation once you've put the family in. Just rip it out and start again. It's just quicker than try to beat your head on this. So it's only when you're doing creation that you're going to see the calculation values that you can change. So if I go to get a stair and look at the edit type, then I can see I can change these and I can edit calculation rules. I have things where I can get here to use stair calculations, slope, etc. I'm not getting into that. That's not the point of this today. I may do a blog post on the calculation rules, but today we're just looking at basically the building the stairs and rails. So the calculation rules, again, only when you start. So if you need to change something, you need to do it now before you get going into your stairs. You can edit some of them, but the calculation rules, when you get into that one dialog box, only comes up when you're building. So it's only for creation. The next would be construction. So I told you we'd get into these. So let's look at the construction. Let's go look at the construction of this guy. We're going to compare these two back and forth today. And I'm going to say edit type. Under his construction, extend below base, not necessary. Monolithic, no, it's not monolithic. So monolithic would let me have, these would come in under monolithic for lapping and underside winder. And its function is going to be interior. It depends on which stair you pick as to what you're going to get in here. So if we go pick on one that is monolithic and say, edit that type, see, I don't have a choice to make it monolithic here. It's just there. And it's got my supports and stuff. So it depends on what you get. That's why this sample file is so important, because you have so many examples you can go here. And it depends on which ones you're going to do as to what you're going to get. So you need to pick a stair that's closest to what you're going by and just pop it in there and start working with it. So this one over here, again, had a little bit more things going on with it than you did with the one that you built just by components. And let's see, let's go back to that. I want to look into construction a little bit more. And now I like to pick this one. So under construction, now, yeah, I think I do get into this later. So let me hold on that and come back to that. Then we're going to look into the supports, and that's if you're going to have your supports built into it. For this one did not have the support. So again, you got to find out which one it's going to be. I've got my risers, got my stringers, if that would be considered your supports. You've got your supports for your stringers here. These are closed. And you can look at the options that you have: closed, none, open. And yeah, I want to go back to the treads and stuff now. So when we get in here and you go, well, it's got this cherry tread, it's got this, the string of materials and stuff, that's fine. But how do you know your nosing profile? These will go off of any profile. I could put a gutter profile. It's just looking for profiles. So you need to watch what you're doing. If you're going to make a profile, I would make sure if you're making a stair nosing, I would start with stair nosing so that the name of it shows up, and you can start typing in and stuff and get them narrowed down there. But this is how you can get your different nosings and stuff to take care of. This is one, and you can apply the nosing to the front only, or you can do the front left, front right, front left and right, depending on how your stair, if you got an open stair, you want to do the nosing all the way around. And these are the things that people don't pay attention to sometimes. They don't realize they can get in there and do these things. Begin with a riser, end with a riser, probably for most. Some you might not. If you got the open stairs, you're not beginning or ending with a riser. There's no riser that's showing. But the riser type, is it going to be straight, or are you going to have a slanted, or are you going to have none? Your riser thicknesses. How about do you extend the riser behind the tread or not? Check your options. Under the tread or behind the tread. Trim your stringer on top. Do you trim it? Do you not trim it? Do you match the level? Do you match the landing for the stringer? And again, it depends on which stair you're working with. Your stringers, these are closed. The other options are None are open. And again, I'm working with ones that were drawn, that were not the component ones. Your stringer thicknesses and stuff you can set up right here. So it's a matter of getting in and checking on each of these things as to how you want to design it and how you want to finish it and how you want to put it together. These stairs go in and let you evolve around them depending on how you do it. Or you can take the ones that are just the preset by components. And again, with this one, I've got my stringers open and closed. It's non-monolithic. Here's my run type. If I go into here, then I can get into the nitty gritty. These components were built into it already. And as you see, there's some of the same things I just went through on the ones that was drawn, the sketched one, as opposed to the component one. It's a matter of where you can get into these. If it's a component one, you got to go in through another dialog box to get to the same thing that we just went through with the one that was sketched. So when you're grabbing these to copy them into your project, know whether or not you want to do a lot of manipulation right off the bat and stuff, or you want to, make it so that you can sketch it, or if you want to deal with the ones that are already preset with the components, and then you can also get in there and change it. It's a matter of when you go to this one, you're going to go, where is that stuff? Well, remember, you got to go in another deeper because this was component built, not sketch built. So my idea, if you're going to build a stair, so now we've looked at the nitty gritties inside the stairs. You're going to build a stair. First thing I'm going to tell you is copy, paste, and edit. That's what I'm preaching so far. You're going to get this file. You're going to copy, paste, and edit. Or you're going to get it from another project. If you've already got one in another project, go get it. Bam, done. You bring the family over, and then you've got the system family that you can bring in there. Okay, we're going to add an upper landing to a stair. So this is we've looked at how to build the stairs and stuff. Now we're going to break down some of the sketching and some of the drawing of the stairs and some of the things you can do with editing stairs. Back over here, let me go to this project. So here I've got a stair that was just built up and over. Don't you love it when that up disappears? Oh, it just drives me insane. So I want to put a landing up here at the top so I can go in here with this and I can say edit stairs, and I want to add a landing. And I want to add a landing. I'm going to draw it. Oh, give me a rectangle. Here, I want to go about 4, 6, if I can. And go ahead and stick 3, 3. And I don't know, that seemed easy to me. But if you've been drawing floors in there, well, I see this also has the continuation of the stairs. So dropping a landing on one, very simple. I mean, this one's built automatically when you do the turn, but to get the landing on the top, very simple. A lot quicker than drawing in a floor or something like that. It's just, you can just add the landing if it's going to be part of it. And when you add an upper landing, you can't add one on the other side. If they're, okay, so let's talk about a split landing. What I just did was add a landing to this side. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take this one off and let's look at something. I want to add this so the stairway goes off the other side as well. I did this, let me think, about 12 years ago in Revit, and you didn't have it where you could split the landing off. So I did it by adding another stair that went from here up. And then to get the stair railing that went here and then up this extra landing, I had another stair that was invisible 1/8 inch placed on a work set that was not visible in any view. And I could add a railing to it that was continuous up here on a stair that didn't. Yeah. Oh, it was quite convoluted to have to do it that way. This is going to make it easier. I'm going to go back into my plan view and I'm in here editing the stairs, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror it. And then I can just bring this over to it and go back to 3D. That took me days to figure out 12, 15 years ago. That's so simple. But now let's go back to that and look at doing the landing on, not that view, this view. So if I pick the stair, And this one does have a tuck in underneath it, so it's not flush right there. Do I take the stair and say edit stairs? And now I want to do the landing on it. And sketch in rectangle. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, we're going to go with that. I can't go do the other one because it only lets you do one landing at a time. But once it's done, mirror, boom, 3D, wrong 3D. And you see that joined it up as well. So I've got one continuous stair with landings and stuff all over. Really quick, really sweet. Just made it so that it is just a couple mirrors and I'm done with that one. All right. The next thing I want to do is one of the ones that when I was doing some research on this, I found this more than anything is how to create a custom stairs. I can't edit those stairs. It makes me crazy editing stairs. Why are you editing stairs? Why don't you just create your custom shape yourself? This is so easy because all you have to do is just follow the rules of how to do it. And here are the rules. I'm going to go to this level because I have already done a shape. Oh, here, I forgot. I got to finish this one. Yeah, finish that. Now, I've got a shape. This is the stair I want to do. And people say, well, I could do it in AutoCAD. All I would do is draw the lines. Well, okay, draw the freaking lines. All this is line work. See, it's just detail lines. All I did was detail lines to get me started. I've got my shape. I'm not going to try to edit a stair to make it this way. I've tried it and it's difficult. Why don't I just start with this? So if you want to do a stair with a custom shape, all we're going to start with is a stair. Why does I keep moving these things on me? I'm moving on myself. And I'm going to go with the sketch mode. And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to sketch my stair path. I want to tell it where it's going to start and where it's going to go. And I'm going to go from here to here. And it says 0 created, 0 remaining. So that tells me I've got my sketches laid out to the right height and stuff for all of these. Now I want to go sketch my boundary. And the boundary of the stairs, I'm going to use pick lines. I've already got the lines drawn. So it's this line and this line and this line and this line. It's also this line and this line. So I've got the boundary. This isn't a boundary, that's a tread or a riser. I'm not red riser. So now I'm going to pick my risers. So see, I just got my boundary, which is just the outside outline, not the whole outline. Then I'm going to pick my risers and I'm going to use pick line because I've got my lines. And I don't have to go in order. It's not going to reverse it or anything at that spot. I can just, if you're going along picking, you accidentally skip one, don't worry about it. You can always come back, like so and just, yeah, it's just a matter of getting these lines in where you want your risers to show up. Okay. Well, let's see. I've got boundary. I got risers. I got stair path. Finish. And let's drop in that 3D view and let's flip it around over here. No, at this angle. And you see this is tucking in because that's the way the stair was created. If I change this to another stair type, that's the one I had done last. It's not going to let me. Oh, I have to finish there. Finish. Yeah, that's ugly rails. But maybe I want my stair to be a residential. That might look a little better. Blew this one off because it didn't like that one. So you need to be watching what stop your stair. I went in with whatever stairs I had done last. I did not change my stair to begin with. So that probably was not the best thing to do. This one looks a little bit funky too. So you got to understand how your risers and stuff are going to relate to each other. So let's just put him back to put him a monolithic. But you see how easy it was to create a stair that had the curves and stuff on it. Just follow the line work that it's asking for, draw it out, get the sketch done. You know what you want it to look like, and then just start picking your lines. All right. So that's a custom shaped stairs. I'm looking at my time. Okay. Multi-level stairs is probably one of the simplest ones that people have ever done. So, but I wanted to go through it just because I'm that type. When I'm in here, I want to do everything I say I'll do. So I'm going to go ahead and get a stair, architecture, stair. I'll just go with this residential one since I hadn't done that one. I know that other stair is somewhere in here, so I'm just going to go from here. I'm going to create 7, and then I'm going to come over here and create the others. And then I'm going to say connect levels. It wants to go into a view to connect the levels, so I'm going to go to the south view, connect it to that level, finish the stair. Booyah. Easy peasy. So I got my stairs going up from one level to another level, just like that. All right. That's stairs for the most part. Then we've got visibility. Oh yeah, this is the last thing of it. Stair visibility. When you go into your visibility graphics, you can choose, if you do not want to see all the things above it, you can turn off supports and riser lines and nosing and cut marks. If you go, I usually leave cut marks and outlines. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to come over here and a plan view. Let's go to the second plan. And I'm going to go to my stairs. And I'm going to turn off above. I don't need supports or risers, nosing. I'm going to leave the cut marks. And you go, oh, look, but that one didn't work. Guys, that's the line work. Filter, check none, lines. Let's just move them off. So yeah, it did work. So you can see if that's, you know, but that didn't work. Well, here you got an up and a down. So that doesn't do much for this. But on level 1, come on, level 1, I can come in here and do the same thing here. I'm not on a view template, so I'd have to do the same thing here on level 1 to get that one set up and cut off the same things up here. And see, on level 1, it can do this, but because of level 2, it did not want to do it because you were also seeing the one that went down. Your next is your cut plane height. It's going to make a difference in where the cut plane goes. That is per view. So if you edit your cut plane, pardon me, if you drop him up, let's take him up 6. Yeah, my cut ran around. So cut plane does have an effect on your stairwell. And lastly is your up down visibility. You can control that. And that is under annotate, stair path. Stair path. Oh no, where am I looking for? What am I looking for? Okay, that shows stair path. Oh, I just lost where I set that. Anybody want to jump on the chat and tell me? It's not there.
It was in the properties when you hit the stair path.
Okay. Thank you. Annotate, stair path, there. Psst. I lose it sometimes.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, yeah. And it says so up and down. What doesn't show the down here? Why? Because I'm on the first floor. You have to go where you have a down to show it. And that's one thing that somebody says, well, it doesn't show my down. And I'm like, okay, are you on the one that shows down? And then you're like, in here, let's go get that stair path and say, do you show the down? And yeah, there it shows up. They come in and out. It makes me crazy. Makes me crazy. Okay. And that 3D. Now I think we are ready to go to Rails. Yeah. go get this file too. That's listed in the stuff that you can put it in the chat. I will be putting it in the community conversation comments areas, but go get this rail thing. There's no reason not to have this file that has all these samples in there. And we're going to play around with several of these. So yeah, you do want to get those. Let's look at the instant parameters on Rails. We're past the 30-minute mark. Okay, so I've got the rail drawing up here. And again, I'm just going to grab several of these and look. Your instant parameters are going to be your level, your base offset, and your offset from path. So then we want to look at, so that's your basic. It's just, yeah, do you offset it up or do you offset it left to right? We all know that if we look at a stair in plan, we've got an arrow to flip it. So if you set it offset 4 inches and it went the wrong way, just flip it. Now it's going the right way. I'll look at that probably. So let's look at the construction of rails. Whew. I'm going to start with a basic. And I'm going to edit type. And is this going to be continuous or not? Yeah, get it tight. And then you get a rail in here and I've got one rail and it's a handrail. Okay, so let's look at one that's not a handrail. Just got the one type. So let's look at this guy. And if I go edit type with him, you see when I come in here to rail structure, these are the ones you get all the different rails. And then you also have, this is where you choose its profile. Again, it's going to show you all kinds of profiles. So I would probably want to change these as handrail 1 circular so that we come up at handrail. But see, if I go sliding up and down through here, I got all kinds of profiles coming in. I would rather have them all say handrail, but that's me. I like consistency. So these have got all the different handrails in here, under that setting, and then you got your baluster placement. This is your pattern, and this one has a pattern of a round baluster. And this one has your start post, your end post, and your corner post. So this is where you're going to put your posts that are going to be your start, end, and if there's going to be a bend in it. And this is where you put the one that's going to be the repeating version. And this is where you can also, this one's going by host. So it's going to be sitting on the host. And it's going to go to the top rail. So this baluster is going to be this. This is where you would change its profile. If you want to change it, see, I can change it to handrail size. No, don't need that. And then down here, you've got your same thing. You've got your family profile and you've got your, it's going to be from host to the top. Let's play around with that. See what that host thing does. I like to pick on one of these. Let's go with this guy. And if I go into him and say on the balusters, let's say this one goes from host to top rail. This one goes from rail 3. Well, see, this one is a panel. So that panel is actually a baluster. So get that in your head that you can actually have one that is a baluster, that is a baluster panel 2. It's a 24 by 1 with a 1-inch gap. And you can see you can make a panel. So then you want to go find that family and maybe go, mess around with it over here. The baluster panel, glass with brackets. Here you go, right there, over here. And you can go and take these and you can edit them as you need to. So you can create your own. But what happens if we put this one? See, this one's going from rail 3. Let's watch if we take this one and go it from rail 3. And apply that. And apply that. It pops up all of those in there. Let's leave that. I'll come back to that. There's something else I want to do with that. But just so you know, you can tell them which rail to go to. Those rails become like having little reference planes or level lines or something there. You can have them go to those certain ones, and you can create some really unusual rails with some that goes up so far, some that go down. You can have them picket fence it and stuff in there. You can do all kinds of things with these. So I'm going to leave it right there for now, and go back to the structure. This one's got a 1-inch offset. If you look in the plan view, it is 1 inch off of the line for it. So you can see this is 1 inch off. That's the one we're messing with. And back to some more on the construction of it. You can use the landing height adjustment if you need to. So if you're going to be taking up around a landing, you might want to have the landing height adjustment. And if you do that, you want to make sure you can see it. So if I come over to, this could get ugly real quick on this one. If I'm going to do, we're going to do it anyway. Because ugly sometimes will make an impression. You'll see exactly what it's done. So if I'm going to do this and have it adjust at the landing height, with the landing height, it's got to go up. Let's say it's got to go up 4 more inches. You can see there's a gap here. It just brought this up 4 more inches, which is probably too big for this one because people can go right, little objects like children could go right into the edge of that if it's up too high. But that's what that does. So, and making it ugly and stuff can also make it where you might remember it better. You can also extend the rails to meet. You can add horizontal. This is going to be in the rail connectings, and you can have no connector. And I'm going to look at that more in depth later. And extending rails to meet and your rail connections, whether you're going to trim or weld. And I didn't pull this one down to show you what else you can do. You have no connector, you can add vertical and horizontal segments, and this one also can have no connector. This is angle joints and this is tangent joints. And we're going to look at that in more detail. The last thing we do today is going to be that. Okay. Under the rail structure is where we're going to talk about the rails themselves. Oh, I think we really ought to did that. Yeah, we looked at the rail structure. I get ahead of myself. And the baluster offset, look at me, I already did that. Heights, we just did that. How are we doing on time? Really good. Okay. Let's go back over here. Use a top rail. This one's using a top rail. So we're going to talk about joints, connections. Yeah. See, I'm up to top rail. Get ahead of myself. It's so easy when they're all right there in the same dialog box, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do have a question from Ginny.
Yes.
How can I remove the top railing? I'm working the guardrail vertical members only.
Take that checkbox off. It's just got, yeah, this one's going to go. Yes. Okay. This is why they made undo in there. Yeah, you can take it off. I'm going to hit undo and bring it back. So that top rail has its own profile and such, and it is something separate. But if you were to do it, let's look at one. If it was this one, for example, you can see when I pick on this, the top rail doesn't highlight. So that's a very good question. Right at this moment, it's perfect. This one has a top rail that it's not, if you don't want this, you would just want the guardrail without the top rail thing. You can come in here and take it off. So let's take this off. It was also, if you saw this, it was also, now it says square. Now let me undo that. Okay, let's go back here again. If I look at this, it's top rail, it's 1.5, where the other rails were 1 inch round. So the top rail is at 1.5 inches. If I take it off and say apply, I know the balusters can't go up there. So yeah, the end balusters were going up to the top rail. That was a problem in here. So now we got to tell them where to go. We got to tell them to go to rail 6. That one was put up. Yeah, this has got that funky little thing. Let's fix that. That's where I was going next. When you have a rail that has the turnout like this, we're going, I'm getting ahead of myself every time, ain't I? So this top rail, if it says it's going out, extend meet, okay, joints. If we don't do the top rail, where's my extent? Where's my what I extend it to? Okay. Here we go. I have to go out to this one where it's top rail, and then you're getting into the nitty gritty of how the top rail is created. And the top rail was created to the profile says extension style says none, and that says none. So why is it sticking out? Okay, let me go back to these and tangent joins. We don't use top rail. And then live is always so much fun. Balusters have to go to 6. I don't have any mid ones, so I'm going to go with 6. And I'm not seeing what I want to see. See, these just let me choose one of these, but I'm not seeing where it's going to let me choose that rail to not have that turnout. That's the turnout that says go to a post. And what I'm seeing, let me go to this one and show you what I mean. I'm not seeing where to find that now. So here I go to beginning bottom terminations. This is none. That's what I'm looking for. So let's go back to here and see where this one had. If it says top row, then why does it got that in there? Did I leave a top rail with a termination? This is none and none. Okay, I'm lost. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to go back to that one because I cannot see where to get that termination set, because the termination is done inside where it says handrail and stuff, and that's where we were going next anyway. But when I go here and look at these,
Hey, Danya.
yes.
The living David Koch says looks like turnouts are balusters.
Am I missing the name of the baluster? Edit type. Thank you, David. Yes. Yeah, I don't have the round post. So this one is the round 1-inch post. Thank you, David. Yes, there. And round 1-inch post. And take off the top. Thank you. That's exactly what it was. Because you can do a turnout with it. Now I got to put a post in there. I thought I just put a post in there. I'm not going back there. Yeah, it is a post. So this one, though, I want to look at this one where it talks about when you come here and look at your turnouts, your terminations, you can have it go, well, now I lost my termination. Practicing that this last night did not help. So, it should be in here where I can determine whether it's going to go. The hand clearance is going to do, use that profile. It's going to go out there to gooseneck material, extension style, wall, floor, or post. There we go. There's where you could choose the post, and the post is generally going to be post that's out there. And that's considered the post. That's where we're getting the post. It's a baluster. It's a post. So if you want to turn that out, you can. If you don't want to turn out, if you want to turn out to wall or something, you can also go out and edit that top rail and tell it to go. Come on, give me that floor. I like floor. Let's go to wall. Okay. Okay. And now it's not turning out. I'm at a loss. I swear some days.
Danya,
I'm sorry. Yes, help.
it went back to post instead of wall.
It went back to post.
Yeah.
Somebody caught that? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I go here, did it go and go here? It goes, come on, give me a break. Wall,
There
apply.
you go.
Okay. Okay. Next answer. Edit type. I did this like 5 times last night.
Is it the baluster theory again from David?
Now, because this should be the top rail, it should be able to go, tell it to go to a post or wall or floor. Okay. Here. Let's do it here. Let's go to wall here on the extension on the top. Nope. Epic fail. It's like if I go back in here, it says post. Beginning termination says none. Okay, I am in the top rail family. And termination says none, but extension style, and I want to extend it a foot. And I'm going to extend the other one a foot. Let's see if I can get a wall and a floor on these. Finally.
It's a dysfunctional family.
It is a dysfunctional family. It needs some help. I think what it was is I didn't give it the length. It didn't have a length to go out. Once I put the length in, see this one went to floor. And that's what it was. It's the length. And you can also tell it to go, if you're going to go, plus tread depth on the beginning, you can also add a plus tread depth there. And I'm going to tell this one to go to floor and a foot. Now I got it. So yeah, you can tell them to go to floor and foot, but this one has also still got that post in there, and that has to do with the rail itself. You can see when I'm picking on that rail is, that piece of the rail is showing up because it's part of the rail, not part of the handrail. So that baluster, if we just go round 2 inch and round, let's just make it around something in there, anything in there, that should take that one out. Yeah, so that was part of the rail. So I did actually click it probably on something that's part of the rail. You can also do the turnouts with the handrail that's in there. If you are using a handrail, edit type, and you have handrail and you want it left or right, and then you have your sizes. And when you go here, you can also, I am not going there. They're both set to wall. I'm not going there now. They also have the option of doing the floor, the poster done. So if you set those, you can also set them to go out so far. You can also do the plus tread depth up here on this one to extend that rail out. If you don't want the handrail, you can just come in here and position none and not have a handrail. Finally. All right. Where am I going next? Handrail 1, top rail handrail. Handrail 2, I'll just tell you, I've never seen anything use a handrail 2. I can imagine it could, but you might want to have, if you need something to have a bumper along the bottom of a handrail. Anybody want to give me an example that they have used a handrail to? So something on the bottom or something? So you have a double handrail inside the rail itself? Nope. Yeah, I can see if you needed a bumper type of thing
Light rail.
for carts, child hand. Yeah, excellent. Schools with young kids. Very good, Sarah. David, go.
Sarah said,
Of course, you two are going to be the ones.
kids.
Yeah. So they're the ones that are going to come in there with me. Okay, let's look at building a rail with a sketch line. Simple enough. I'm going to go back over to this one. And if I want to go get a rail, architecture, always made me crazy. Rail comes before stairs or ramps. Rail and just a sketch line, you're going to just draw a sketch line. And whatever rail it is, that's what you're going to get. I go to 3D and yeah, I have a rail. There it is over here. if you want to do pick stair, oh, that would be an ugly stair. Let's not do that one. Let's that would I want to customize the rail. I would go with that. Okay, I want to pick. Let's go back. I don't want to do that one. I want to do the one where I place rail on stairs and just pick the stairs. And oh, I didn't want to do that one, did I? It's not bad. Let's do it on this one. Okay, got to go back. It got out. Where's my mouse? Architecture. Okay, come on, architecture. Railing, place on stairs. And just do that. And you see where it goes up. Look at, because I did a landing, it closed them in. There's a stair to nowhere. So it's easy enough to do those, but we're going to go over here and rails. Well, let's go back and do one more over here. Let's go back and do one more in this project. And to do this, I want to go get rail. And I'm going to grab one of the rails from here, copy paste them in. And come into here. And just going to paste them in so I have that type in here. Okay. There. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a rail. Rail sketch path. And I want the guardrail pipe. I'm going to draw them through the center of this wall. And when I finish, he's in the wall. We know he's in the wall. I drew him on the floor. So if I find him in here, I can then go up here and pick new host and slap him up on here. So it's easy to get a rail on a wall. I've used rails that had one rail type with a profile of a parapet cap to run along a wall like that. And I've used them for curbs. You can have these also if you pick new host, you can put it on any surface. And I'm going to see if I have that. Let's pick this sample project and throw this in here. You can take that rail and any rail and put it on a surface so that when you go into somewhere, let's go and so I can paste. Yeah, that brought that rail in. Should have. If I go get a rail sketch path, I don't want that one. I didn't get it. So let's go back to rail and copy, paste here. Yeah, well, I'm not going to keep you there. So just drawing a rail in here, I can go through and put a rail in and, sketch path. Let's make sure I got the right rail first. Pick him. He's not showing up. I'm going to go ahead and just put this one in here and finish. Go back to 3D view. You'll find this rail, and if I flip around the other side, he's buried in the ground, and just pick new host, and there he goes. Again, if you have a rail that you want to use that's just a single rail, you can make it with a curb. Make it follow any path that you want. I've also done sidewalks as rails using a rectangular profile and done a sidewalk. That way it followed the contours exactly, and then I could put the any type of curb I want on them. I'm looking at the time. Pick stairs, pick new host. We looked at top rail and handrail one. We're done with those. Splitting segments. I want to do this real quick. I think this is about it. Besides the visibility, I would use the same thing as I did with the stairs, but let's go and look at splitting one. And I believe I have.
Robin says he does egress paths as rails. This way you can actually label them with a length.
Yeah, my company has been doing that, but they're wanting me to look at the new path of travel
Yep,
for some
that's what,
things. So we're investigating that right now. Let's go back to this view and look at splitting rails, because sometimes with something like this guy, or no, let's go with this guy. With this guy, if I want to go in here and really do an edit on him, I'm going to take his balusters and I'm going to take that round one and put him from the rail 3. And that's going to shorten up all of those down through there. But if I want to take him and do an experiment with him and say, edit his path, and I want to split him up a little bit. I want to split him and let's go with 4 foot. And then I want to do another one at 4 foot. I'm just experimenting. When I want to look at something like this that has those panels in it, I want to experiment and let's go with 4'6". And I'm experimenting to see what the panels are going to look like, what gap I'm going to have, so that when I come in here and look at them, I've got 2 side by side, same size. And this one had a post on the corners, says a corner post. I could also make it the same as that. I'm going to leave it the round because it's the other one's round. And then I'm going to finish mine. So by putting this in here, I see, well, 4 foot, I've still got a huge gap because of the way it wants to place these other balusters in the center. But 4'6" look like that would be what I would want to go with, so that I don't have, we took the post that was down on every one of these and shortened them to the 3rd rail. That sounds bad. The rail number 3. And then by adding a post, it looks like 4'6" is a good break if I don't want to have the post coming out down on all of them. So I wanted to show that when you're looking at change some of these things, especially with some of these using these panels as posts and stuff, is really common. But if you don't want to have all the posts going down, this is a nice way to do it. But then you want to experiment with what your increment is going to be. We're 1 minute over. Okay. Is there any other questions? I am sorry about the message today. It must be, yeah, sometimes it just happens. I'll go with it. Thank you guys for coming and attending. For those that are viewing it later, go back to the, and for those that are here, go back to the questions or the community conversation where the comments are going to be. And let me get up with the rest of these things for Sean. The next one is going to be a repeat of October. September.
Well, it's going to be the ones that we did at AU that we couldn't get the Wi-Fi. And yeah, that was, I apologize to anybody that wanted to attend that. The space was too loud. We didn't have a microphone, and then the Wi-Fi in the space we were in, let's just say, was not ideal.
Yeah, we tried several times, and it just finally just had to throw in the towel.
Absolutely. So we're going to do that again. And then there is a break in community conversations till 1st of the year, and there's going to be a whole bunch of other stuff going on. So anyway, let me wrap up with a couple slides, so don't leave us just yet. You can explore the many different ways to connect in the community. I pasted some links for you. We will be posting the video, like I said, in the next 24 hours to the event page where you signed up for this, as well as in the YouTube. Is there a next slide?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
there it goes.
But anyway, thank you again, everybody, for participating with us. If you want to be a community conversation speaker, you have an experience, you have a domain knowledge, or you want to form a panel to discuss maybe an industry trend or something like that, please feel free to complete the session proposal.
Yeah, if you want to
the
get
other-
online and embarrass yourself, please do.
Oh, come on. This is how we learn, right? We learn this through conversation,
Yeah.
not somebody sitting in a pulpit just
Yeah.
spitting it down at us. The other thing I'd like to mention is we are bringing a lot of new Autodesk Voices blog authors on board over the next couple of weeks, and you could be one as well. So we're always looking for people that have ideas, tips, tricks. Robin, if you want to bring that crazy, was that a Dutch stair that I consider like a fall down? Danya, he had a stair design that is really steep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he was going to put it as a challenge to us if we had time. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Continue to stay connected with the Autodesk community, and we hope to see you next time. So definitely go out and click that link for the future community conversations. Register for Danya's next one. In November, December, we'll start adding the ones for the following year as well. So if you have any ideas, make sure to put them in the survey. You know, the quick survey at the end.
Yes.
If you have any ideas for sessions, please put them in there. So
More practice.
thank you, everybody.
For Danya. All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Kimberly.
I appreciate you guys putting up with me. Thank you.
It's all about the fun and the learning, right?
Yes.
So that's what makes it good. That's what makes it a conversation.
Yep.
So, all righty.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.